Well, we told you last week when news broke about the Supreme Court upholding the Obama-era Affordable Care Act.
And that decision was 7-2, with Neil Gorsuch and Samuel Alito filing the two dissenting opinions.
Justices Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett both siding with the more liberal justices on the court. And former President Trump, who appointed the two, is not so happy about it. Let's welcome back in our panel, Kim Klacik, Kelly Hyman, Patrick Hahn. And I want to play for you all a clip from a phone interview with the former president about the court striking down the challenge to Obamacare. Let's listen together.
Let me ask you a little bit about those Supreme Court picks, Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh. They ruled with the liberals just recently in favor of saving Obamacare. What did you think of that, about what they did?
Disappointed, and that's the way it goes. Very disappointed. I fought very hard for them, but I was very disappointed with a number of their rulings.
All right, Kim Klacik, the president, former president there, not so pleased with how his own justices that he'd appointed during his term ended up ruling. Your thoughts on the matter?
Yeah, well, it's always great to hear from our former president, but I understand how he would be disappointed. I also remember the fact that he did fight very hard for Kavanaugh and Barrett, and I remember the chaos that was surrounding them just being appointed, and people saying that they were going to be so conservative. But what he actually did was pick two people that were not biased. Unfortunately, I think the Republicans should have did a better job at bringing something to the table to oppose Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act, whatever people want to call it. But we didn't do that. Unfortunately, with the GOP, we get distracted very easily. We don't control the narrative enough. And these are things that we have to work on. Healthcare is one of them. We have a lot of people in big pharma and prices that are sky high. And I think a lot of citizens feel that heat. And so we should get people in the room, especially doctors and surgeons, that can come up with a plan with the GOP to figure out how we can lower some of these costs. And so we have to be solution-based, but I can see why President Trump was upset. I don't blame him.
Kelly Hyman, your reaction to the former president's thoughts on the Supreme Court and their recent sightings?
Well, the Supreme Court are supposed to be the jurist and unbiased, and based on the law and the facts, apply it accordingly. Now, we have to remember that the last Supreme Court ruling had not to do with the law itself. And a majority of Americans do support the Affordable Care Act. It's important that Americans have affordable insurance. And so I think that's really important for them to have that, the Affordable Care Act. And I think that's key. But the justice, based on the law and based on the determination, made their determination and their decision.
And that decision specifically there kind of goes against the predictions that we'd heard from members of the media and Democrats as well, that Amy Coney Barrett would vote just in lockstep with conservative views, or specifically the views of Donald Trump. Patrick, kind of defeats the narrative there with at least that ruling.
Well, I concur with President Trump. They should have been doing their job as justices. They made a ruling based on no merit. They didn't even give the opportunity for the states. There were, I believe, 18 states, including Texas, that filed it, whether the Obamacare was unconstitutional. They didn't even allow the case to come forward to hear the arguments and base the case on its merits if it is unconstitutional. I believe it is. I'm very disappointed in Kavanaugh and Justice Barrett. Because they should have been more conservative in their views, as they've told the public they are. And it shows point blank they're leaning more liberal. Yeah. It's almost like because they're afraid of a mob mentality scenario that might come after, but they should rule on law.
Well, they serve for life there, so they're not worried about their next job. Okay, Kim Klacik, Kelly Hyman, Patrick Hahn, thank you all, panel. We appreciate it.
All right, for a quick look at what's trending right now on social media, Amanda Brohanty joining us live. Hey, Amanda.
Hey, Sean, here's what we're seeing right now.